Hello everybody, welcome back to SKG Tier 1, Round 8 of the season, and we've swapped the passion of the Mexican fans for the carnival atmosphere of Sao Paulo. But before any of the on-track action could get underway, there were moves in the paddock as Rob Jacobs signed full-time for Alpine, replacing the outgoing Timo van Argel, and Ryan Banning signed for Haas. As for the circuit itself, it is the home of Lollapalooza Music Festival and has been a staple on the F1 calendar since 1990. 4.3 kilometres, 15 turns, 2 DRS zones, and plenty of historic moments. It may not be the season finale, but it's sure to be a classic. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to Sao Paulo for round 8 of SKG Tier 1. My name is George Sanderson, and alongside me, as always, in the commentary box, I have the McLaren team principal, Ethan Miles. Ethan, good to have you here. We've had a bit of a chaotic start to this one with the real-life Grand Prix being delayed by the weather, but no such delays for Tier 1. It is beautiful and sunny in Brazil.
It is absolutely, and unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, who knows? But rain is not very common on the F1 game at this circuit, as obviously practice sessions, show there's not been much rain. But definitely in qualifying, it is dry here today.
And in sunny Sao Paulo, our 16 drivers treated us toward the closest qualifyings of the season. Just 0.8 of a second separating Pole and Rob Jacobs in P16. It's an all-British lineup for Ferrari as Swifty reserves from P14, Ice Cream making his reserve debut from 13th. Fantomina and Timon Brackman make up row 6 just outside the top 10, and Wandy is out-qualified by his teammate for a 7th consecutive race. He starts alongside Hukid on row 5. Panos is just 1,000th of a second behind Lufu on row 4, the RB with 2 podiums in his last 3 races. Talha matches his best qualifying performance of the season. He's alongside championship leader Josh. SKG returns to the Tier 1 grid for the first time since the Season 9 finale. Takubi yet to start lower than the second row. And at the front, Ryan Banning celebrates his move to Haas with his best ever qualifying. It's the second ever pole for Catsper. So then, here we go to 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix in Tier 1. And it's lights out, and it looks like a good getaway there for Ryan Banning. He had a really good reaction to the lights, and he's going to be down the inside of the Aston Martin into turn 1. Can Ryan Banning hold it? He'll turn to the outside for turn 2. Side by side they go, and through into the lead goes the Haas. A fantastic start by the man starting in P2 as Takubi and SKG go side by side down the Retroposta towards turn 4. And there's contact between the two as Catsby and Jacek goes off.
Wow. That's huge for the
that
championship
is huge
in terms of
the
everything.
Title fight as well. Catsby and Jacek currently second in the standings on 83 points, some 30 behind AMS Josh, but Catsby all the way down to the back of the field. And drama here on lap 1, Ethan. Did you get a good view of what happens as Ryan Banning spins it into the wall?
Whoa. That's huge, that's huge. I don't know what I'm witnessing. Takubi flies into the race lead. What's going on?
Ik had niet door dat hij ging blijven beddelen, want hij is een wing kwijt.
Kut, ik pak het gras.
And let's have a look at the tyres people are running. So everyone on either the mediums or the hards. We have the top 9 all on the hards as Cashbear making some progress up the field in the background. Panos gets himself up into P6. Cashbear back into the top 10 now, make that P9. He is on a charge here, the Aston Martin, from the back of the field. He's already back up into 9th place.
But just sticks within DRS. But it looks like Lufu's going to go for the move.
Lufu takes to the outside as we climb the hill towards the CNRSs, and it is very simple when you have DRS. The Alpine round the outside into 3rd place. Catsper thinking of a daring move round the outside there. No, not quite doing. Has to stay behind. Is there a move into Junção? He'll think the better of it and size it up instead. Big slide from the Aston Martin. That is a huge drift and a big save.
Through the middle sector. Panos still having a look.
Oh,
contact
moment. Yeah, he tried to force it down the inside, but it was perhaps a little bit too far back, and Ryan Banning is going to try and go all the way around the outside, which will turn to the inside into turn 10. There's a bit of a slide for the Haas. rear traction there, rear lockup, causing him to slide his way around, and Panos holds on to 8th place for the time being, but brilliant battling from this middle group. That's 2 trains of 5 at the moment. We got the top 5 and then the bottom 5 of the top 10, all nose to tail in separate battles. Tauher 3.8 seconds off the back of the front group, and that is a gap that hasn't really been changing all that much. It's perhaps come down a little bit over the race, but not massively.
Pulls the trigger.
Yeah, Takubi, the first one into the pits on lap 14 here. We'll ride along with Takubi as Lufu and Who Kid in the pits, as are Ryan Banning, Stay Daisy and Timon Brackman all coming in. But here is Takubi, across the line he goes in towards turn 1. Let's have a look at that camera angle. You can see the drivers in the distance there. You see the kick Sauber of Esko Kalavi coming out of the pits. Where is Lufu though?
Yeah.
There he is, and Takubi has got the move done, so the undercut working wonders for the McLaren as he now comes in and will strap on the hard compounder tyres. So he's done half the race on the mediums, he'll do half the race on the softs, but you can see by the minimap, and you can see as we ride along with them, there go Lufu and Takubi through turn 1, and Josh is only just coming down the hill in the background. You might have seen a brief glimpse of him there. As he comes out of the pit lane, those cars to his right hand side, that is the battle for what is now 4th place between Hugh Kidd and Esko Kalavi, and Josh slots right into the middle of it in P5 in his Ferrari. I think Katzper there has perhaps used the Ferrari as a bit of a bit of market research maybe for these medium tyres, because he's seen Josh was able to take them 17 laps at a decent pace, because we saw that gap between Katzper and Josh wasn't really coming down before Josh came into the pit lane. I think Katzper has seen that and decided, well, I can take mediums 17 laps. But yeah, Josh is closing in slowly, so maybe he either him as a driver or just the setup Ferrari have gone with tonight is more suited to those hard tyres. As Rob Jacobs is out of the session, that one's on track, and that will be a safety car. Let's have a look what's happened as we ride around with Wandy, and he's lost it there on the exit of turn 4 at Desida de Lago, spins into the inside wall, and that is a safety car. Okay.
Mediums for the majority of the grid, and well, literally everyone except Kashper.
I think this is smart then from Kashper. As you see, Timon and Stay Daisy also put on fresh mediums. Will Wandy go to the mediums, or will Aston Martin go for the daring strategy for him as well? It is the softs. So Aston Martin really going for it here. Both drivers onto the softs, so it's just drivers with track limits, and those are Esko Kalavi, Ryan Banning, Catsby and Jacek, and Stay Daisy. And well, certainly in the case of those first 3 we mentioned, they were 3 of our fastest drivers in qualifying, so it'll be interesting to see if they can make up for those penalties, as Lufu has gone very early here. Lufu gets us back underway and has got a fantastic restart there. He caught Takubi napping and leads the way into turn 1 in the background. Esko Kalavi all over the back of the Williams ahead of him, unable to make a move into turn 1, but keep an eye out on Catsby and Jacek. On the soft tyres, Wandy is already making positions at the back of the field. He's up into 12th place, ahead of Katzper. Side by side go Ryan Banning and Esko Kalavi. Not quite a move though. It is going to be 3 wide down the Retta Aposta, as the Alpine, McLaren and Ferrari all jostle for position. Round the outside goes Josh on the McLaren. Can he make it stick? They're both on the medium tyres, but not quite. We're almost going 4 wide here, as Hukid goes, can I get involved in this battle?
Still side by side to the middle sector. Takubi goes off.
Yeah, Takubi goes wide and tries to cover the inside to block the Williams, but it hasn't quite worked. Hukid is going to try and go all the way around the outside of the McLaren. There's a slight bit of contact as the Williams raises his hand in frustration there with the McLaren. He's saying, why aren't you backing out of that move? Here comes the Aston Martin. He set the fastest lap last time around, and he is gaining and gaining on the McLaren. Does he go left or does he go right? It'll be the outside line into turn 1. He brakes late, and oh my goodness, that's late braking from the Aston Martin. And what a move! Up into 4th place.
They're still side by side, but Takubi has more battery.
But here comes Esko Kalavi. They go 3 wide down towards turn 4. And Esko Kalavi, the Swedish driver, goes down the inside of not 1 but 2. And back up into 4th place. What a battle here. Behind him, Fantomina thinking of the move on Ryan Bannick as well. Down the inside goes the Red Bull. Forces the Haas wide. Does a bit of a Verstappen, if you will. And they're still going to be side by side as they go towards turn 6. But Fantomina gets the move done. And,
Here comes Timon. There's a bit of contact.
Timon Bratman round the outside of the Haas car. Gets one move done just about. They're still side by side towards turn 1. In fact, Ryan Bannick down the inside again. Oh, Fantomina not making the move this time around. And in fact, it's going to make him vulnerable to the McLaren once again. As we're now going to go 3 wide for about the 15th time down the straight. There's big contact. Big contact. Down the Retroposta, no
crash.
front left end plate now on the Haas. There's another safety car out, despite there being no DNF there. Now, let's have a look. So, lots staying out, but Takubi in. Yeah. This is a gamble by McLaren, and I think
wow.
I think it's a gamble that pays off, to be honest, because look how many have come in behind him. He's only in effect, he's only in effect lost what, 3 places there, 2-3 places. So when does Josh put the power down? We saw Lufu do it early on the last safety car, and Josh has taken a leaf from his book, but it hasn't worked as well.
Takubi's had a great start.
Takubi's had a good start in the background, but the restart for Josh, he tried to pull a Lufu. The only problem is Lufu was directly behind him and knew exactly what was coming, and there hasn't been that much gain.
Stag Daisy in the background made contact with Takubi.
And Takubi has gone up into 5th place. He's already gained a couple of positions, so he started exactly how he means to go on. In the background, you can see cars jostling for position, but no moves made into turn 4. Bits of carbon fibre, I think, flying off there in the background. Not sure if anyone picked up damage in the lower positions, but Takubi up into 5th place.
In the background, Ryan Bannick going side by side through the middle sector with Fantomina. He gets the position done.
And here comes the McLaren. He'll get the first move done on Esko Kalavi very easily there indeed, and the Sauber, all being fair, doesn't really put up too much of a fight. He knows he has a penalty, and he knows that McLaren is on much faster tyres. Up ahead, Lufu has got the race lead off Josh. He has the DRS open.
He's overtaken
gaining and gaining. There goes Josh into the race lead. Takubi forced to the move. Gets on the grass and slides. Will he lose a position there? He does. He loses 2 as Ryan Bannick gets through. And Katsby and Jacek. And that is really unfortunate for the McLaren. He was going to go for the move, but Hukid also went for the move on the car ahead. And there was very little time for the McLaren to react as he gets back down the inside. As we look back towards the front, those two still going side by side in the background, and Panos Veras is trying to make the move around the outside of Fantomina. He runs off wide and picks up a 3-second time penalty for his struggles there. That may well be looked into by the stewards, but he gets the move done up into 8th place, and Panos gaining an extra couple of points there. Here we go then, heading up the final time, up the pit straight, and after all the chaos and all the drama here in Brazil, it will be your championship leader who extends his lead. AMS Josh wins the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Takubi jumps to
third. In third. Takubi jumping up to the podium in a fantastic turn of events there for the McLaren driver. It all looked over and done with. And perhaps Takubi will be wishing it was all over and done with, as his 5-second penalty for that first lap collision with Katsby and Jacek drops him well off the podium. But after 8 races, we finally have a repeat winner in Season 11 as AMS Josh takes victory ahead of Lufu and Panos. Hukid and Esko Kalavi impress on their reserve appearances, with Wandy and Katsby and Jacek finishing P6 and 7 for consecutive races. Takubi's penalty drops him all the way down to 10th. Outside of the points, Ryan Bannick will rue a big missed opportunity after his opening lap spin, and then 10-second penalty for the crash on lap 30, with Talho, Rob Jacobs, Ice Cream and Swifty on non-finishers, the fastest lap going to Katsby and Jacek. In the drivers' standings, Josh now opens up a commanding 45-point lead with just 4 races to go. The Aston Martin separated by just 8 points. Back-to-back podiums for the first time since the start of Season 9 sees Panos climb up to 4th. Takubi will be disappointed to remain P9 after only picking up 1 point, whilst Hukid immediately joins the standings at 14th. Tixie, Esko Kalevi and Adrian are all on 10 points, but it's the Finns that make the top 16. In the Constructors, Aston Martin continue to lead the way, but Ferrari now just 9 points behind Williams with RB into triple figures. Alpine climb to 6th due to Lufu's first ever podium, and Sauber pick up points but remain bottom. And finally in the overall standings, McLaren leapfrog Williams into second place, just 9 points off the overall lead. Ferrari closed the gap on the top 3, whilst there's a close fight for 6th between Mercedes and Haas. Round 9 of the season sees SKG travel to the home of British motorsport at Silverstone. Make sure to follow our Twitch channel to catch all 3 tiers live, as well as subscribing right here on YouTube for Tier 1 highlights.